Alright guys, welcome back to the second week of me going through all the Stranger Things seasons, and today I'll be looking into the most controversial, Season 2. So let's just get right into it. This is once again created by the Duff brothers, who served as executive producers once again with Shaun Levi, Dan Cohen and even Ian Peterson this time. This season is set in the fall of 1984 as Will Byers is once again the target of the Upside Down, as a large tentacled entity called the Mind Flayer plans to terrorise Hawkins. Will is played again by Noah Schnapp. Winona Ryder returns as his mother Joyce, David Harbour returns as the police chief Hopper, Finn Wolfhard returns as Mike Wheeler, Millie Bobby Brown returns as Eleven, Gaten Matarazzo returns as Dustin Henderson, Caleb McLaughlin returns as Lucas Sinclair, Sadie Sink joins the cast as Max Mayfield, the new kid on the block, Natalia Dyer returns as Nancy, Charlie Heaton returns as Will's brother Jonathan, not mentioned in the last video, but Joe Key returns as Steve Harrington, Nancy's boyfriend, in a much bigger role. Zachary Montgomery, I know how to pronounce that last name. I don't know why I'm stuttering in this recording, so I'm very sorry about that. He joins the cast as Billy Hargrove, who is Max's older brother. Cara Buono returns as Karen Wheeler. Sean Astin joins the cast as Bobby Newby, who is Joyce's new boyfriend, and Paul Reiser joins the cast as Sam Owens, Will's doctor. There are 9 episodes in this season, which was all released on October 27, 2017. The Duff brothers directed and wrote the first 2 and last 2 episodes, while Shaun Levi directed episodes 3 and 4, Andrew Stanton directed episodes 5 and 6, then Rebecca Thomas directed episode 7. Justin Doble wrote episodes 3 and 7, Paul Ditcher wrote episode 4, Jesse Nixon Lopez wrote episode 5, and Kate Trowfry wrote episode 6. Speculation for a second season of the show arose after the critical and viewership success of the first in July 2016. The brothers intended this to be either a standalone miniseries or an anthology series. They even considered originally doing a sequel series set in the early 90s, featuring older versions of the characters along with new ones who were drawn to the Hawkins after the supernatural events would start again. However, they did notice the likability of the characters, especially to children, is what made the first season a success, and decided to set the second season in 1984 and focus on the same characters. By the end of the month, they have outlined a plan for such a season if it was greenlit by Netflix, and Netflix's CEO Reed Hastings went on to say in early August of 2016 that they would be dumb not to renew the show. By August 31st, 2016, the company would go on to announce they had renewed the show for 9 new episodes, which would be released in 2017. The brothers wrote the season to make this feel as if season 1 and 2 completed a whole story, but elements in place could go forward for future seasons if they were greenlit. They also felt it should be more treated as a sequel than a continuation, which is why it's called Stranger Things 2. Netflix were a bit turned off, saying sequels could be looked at worse than the originals, but the brothers said plenty of sequels have also surpassed their original films. When it came to revealing titles for the show, Matt Duffer knew people would figure out parts of the plot, from them saying that people are smart on the internet and had seen breakdown videos in the past from shows revealing episode titles. So they ended up only revealing the first 6 titles in early October 2017. It was announced in October 2016 that Noah Schnapp and Joe Keery would be promoted to the main cast for this season, after having recurring roles in the first, along with Sink and Montgomery being added to the cast as Max and Billy. Announcement of the return of the main cast members happened as well. For the character Owens, they eyed up Reese for the role for plenty of time. Even in their pitch, they made a comparison of the character to his character Burke in Aliens. The actor's son was a fan of the first season and even gave the father an insight into the show, so when the production called his agent about the role, he was very excited. The soundtrack for the season was released digitally on October 20th, 2017. It was once again composed by Kyle Dixon and Michael Steen from Survive. The first track from the soundtrack, Walking in Hawkins, was actually released early on October 12th. Each episode when released was an hour long. With the release of the season, Netflix also released Beyond Stranger Things, which is an after-show hosted by Jim Rash. The brothers along with the cast would go on to join in different episodes to talk about the making of the show along with its larger mythology. This series, like the first, was released in a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack at Target stores on November 6, 2018, in a vintage CBS Fox VHS inspired packaging. Critically, Rotten Tomatoes gave this season a 94% based on 146 reviews, and Metacritic gave it a 78 out of 100 based on 33 reviews. So did this live up to the success of the first? I would say so personally. It really builds upon the incredible cast of the first season and expands on the world it introduced. The writers do a marvellous job of adding depth to the post-traumatic stress from the Upside Down. I also love what they did with Will this season. They already made it seem something was off in the first episode, from him being called Zombie Boy in the whole class scenario. Also respect to the writers for most making sure Dustin and Lucas had more screen time in the season as well, since they are my favourites from the kid cast. Lucas and his family are funny to watch, while Dustin gets a former relationship with the best character to me in the show, Steve, who I'm glad they somehow have developed even more as the shows went on, especially in this season. Sink gives us an exceptional performance as the new kid on the block, Max, who gives the kids a run for their money. While Montgomery might not be used as much this season, he still does a great job of being Steve's new rival. Ryder again is as amazing as Joyce, and I think the bond with her and Will is a sweet thing, building upon all the previous stress from the previous season. Even then, with its strengths, this season did have its faults. There's a lot of moments where they can shift in the tone just abruptly, and it's just weird. Especially in episode 5, which we all now know was a pilot for a spin-off show, but it's now just here and it's just an awkward hour of jokes in this dramatic season. But the ideas they did have were quite cool, and I think Billy Bobby Brown did do an amazing performance in that episode. Yeah, but just semi-future me meant to mistakes again. I totally don't know how I ended up putting episode 5 in the script. I keep making these random blunders out of nowhere, and I'm completely sorry. But, just clarification, I mean episode 7, the lost sister from Stranger Things season 2, not episode 5, but yeah, just a bit of clarification. If it's not obvious, this was a great season to me, and I think it's kind of underrated. Even if it has its weaker moments, the cast, new and old, really bear above it all. This is a 4 out of 5 or 8 out of 10 to me. So yeah, that was looking into Stranger Things Season 2 and my own thoughts, saying it's kind of underrated just because of one bad episode, which still had some good elements in it. I really hope they don't just forget about this episode and even make it more awkward after they finish it in its last season. So I really hope they do some elements in the next season. Maybe Eleven's sister could come out and help, we don't know. I kind of thought it was going to happen at the end of Season 4, but I might get around to that when I actually cover Season 4 on the channel in 2 weeks. So yeah, next week it's obviously Season 3, a lot of people's favourite, and yeah, you'll see my thoughts next week on that. If you like this video, please make sure to like the video. If you have any extra facts about this season or your own thoughts, comment them down below, I'd love to hear them. And if you've seen my content for a while and not subscribed yet, please do, it would mean a lot. Liking, commenting, subscribing aren't the main priorities to me. The main priority to me is just getting to look into something I'm kind of interested in, and getting to talk about it, and then getting to create a video out of it. But I can't lie, as someone who is wanting to do YouTube, it's kind of an extra perk really. So yeah, I haven't really got anything added on for this week's video, so I'll see you next week for Season 3.
The Upside Down.